Okay. We are we are live, and again, it's so good to have you in the studio with me this morning, William Hodgson, to talk about this wonderful play, Is God Is, and it's not a question. If there's no period, there's no question mark. It's sort of like what a title. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you are co-artistic director and you're one of the founding members of the Oakland Theater project. Used to be Ubuntu,
Mhm.
and people still say it's okay to call you all Ubuntu. And you are in Oakland. You are a professional theater in Oakland. And what's really unique about Oakland Theater Project, when you all first started, you all came up from Southern California into the Bay and just took us by storm. The way you moved your productions to being site specific, I mean, seriously, you were in air hangars, you were in service stations in the rain, you were in churches a lot, you were in mansions. I mean, like what? And now you're at you're in downtown Oakland, at a store that, is, a paper supply store or something like that,
And
printing place.
and paints and yeah.
Yeah, and then by night and weekend, it is a theater. Yeah.
Yeah. So my name is William Thomas Hodgson. I'm co-artistic director of Oakland Theater Project. I still call it Ubuntu. We changed the name because we wanted to feel like a bigger recognizable part of Oakland. But there's a sense of Ubuntu that I hope is always at the center of our art making, the sense of I am because we all are. And yeah, our current location is down at the Flex Art and Design Center. Howard Flex is he sells art supplies there. You can get printing, framing done, and then we have a corner of it, and we've got 100-seat black box theater in there, and we do amazing work, if I do say so myself.
I agree. So you're not the only one saying that.
Come on down, see us.
Yeah. And then what I really like, and I think this is still a part of your philosophy, is that you really want people who want to be in the theater to be in the theater. So money should not be an object. I think you have like this pay what you can thing. Do you still have that?
Yeah, so part of our origin story is we all kind of like from the Bay Area met in grad school, and we're trying to, use some of this money that the UC system was giving us to create an experiment. And so we brought theater here and we did little surveys, and we just kind of determined who was really hungry for art. And we found out that we had a home in Oakland, that we were being responded to. We had collaborators here. A lot of us were from here. There was a group of 50 people that came in our first year. And so that philosophy has kind of become a pillar of what we do. We have radical hospitality. We don't turn anyone away. Of course, if the house is full, we do have to turn people away, but not for monetary reasons. We try to at least fund part of our ticket sales enough that anyone can come see it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of allows us to create a season that is about everyone, not about a certain class, in a way that really has been an artistic home for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that radical hospitality.
Yeah. I
That's
don't know
very
who
nice.
came up with that, but I learned it through Jack Ruler, who runs Mixed Blood in Minneapolis. So there's definitely other theaters doing this, but it has a home here in Oakland.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what's your origin story?
So my mom is British, my dad is Trini. I've been in California most of my life. I didn't know I was an actor until I didn't know what to do when I was 19 and was not about going to college, and on a whim did this, and then learned that this type of social reflection is really where I want my skills to be honed. This sense of togetherness, that you bring people in from two sides of any divide into a space, and we have a conversation together, even if we're not speaking, just by going through the same experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of something that we still think of when we're picking our seasons at Oakland Theater Project. I almost said Ubuntu.
Yeah, and this is the second play. Aleshea Harris's play, "Is God is the second play of your season. And what's the theme for this year?
Oh my gosh. I'm so bad. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
okay.
very
Yeah.
clever name.
Okay. So while you're looking that up, um, yeah, this is the Bay Area premiere of Aleshea Harris's work, multi-award winning play, and and it was a smash hit off Broadway in 2018 and a runaway success in London's West End. And it's a contemporary epic. You all do epics so well there. I mean, that should be a part of your name. We do epic theater. I mean, like that first play, like really, like, I mean, we were, we went from the human realm to the underground realm to the heavens and then back to the human realm. Like, but you all do it so well. And it was a musical. Like what? You know?
Well, yeah, I don't know if we even label ourselves that way, but I do think when you're doing theater that needs to include so many people because that's who we are. Like we all have different backgrounds and we're different ages and we're different socioeconomic status. Like, you know, a couple of us have huge degrees and some of us are just good straight out the gate. So I feel like when you've got that big pool of people you need to talk to, these epics, these things that feel like fairy tales or fables, have really drawn themselves. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
um,
So what's this season called? Yeah, what's your theme?
History versus hope.
Mm, history versus hope. Wow. History
So I
versus
feel like that kind of ties into the theme of the fable, the fairy tale,
mm-hmm,
um, this monolith that we're chipping away at. I know
mm-hmm,
we saw that in Exodus to Eden, like a return, a journey going through something. And this is also kind of a journey through the West to find this holy grail of their father. Um,
mm-hmm.
yeah. Should I give like a synopsis of Is God
Yeah,
Is?
yeah. I think we should probably finally start talking about the play. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Uh, so yeah, Is God is by Aleshea Harris. And when I read the script, I was just my jaw was on the floor. Like it's wild. It's really wild. But it was moving wild. Like it did something that cinema and video games and like this thrilling thing that I like in my media. But also there was a message that I was thinking about for a long time afterwards in a way that only theater does. So I thought there was a nice marriage when I first read the script. And then I actually know a few of the artists that worked on a couple of those early projects.
Mm,
So like Nataki Garrett, who is now the artistic director of OSF, directed the mixed blood version, that theater I was talking about earlier. And I loved it. I wanted to see those productions. I was following them. I was like seeing clips of them. It was so moving in a way to see something that different. Because there's something kind of taboo about the story. It's about two twins that have burns all over them, one on her face really visibly, and it makes her a little bit shy in public, and one on her back, and she's very bold in public and doesn't let life walk on her. And these two women are raised in the foster care system, and one day they get a letter that their mother is actually alive in a state-run hospital in the South. So they go
mm,
down and visit her. She is also very scarred and tells them that their father tried to light them all on fire and then ran away.
mm,
So she charges them with going to find him and killing him and bringing a piece of him back to her. So they're sent on this really bloody revenge story across the Southwest. You know, it's kind of a spaghetti Western story. So you see these big scenic these scenes throughout the Southwest and the West and all the way to California.
it comes here.
Yeah, yeah. It comes
Oh,
to Castaic in just outside of LA.
oh wow. Close.
Yeah. He had a good life. He was in the hills.
Oh my goodness. Wow, wow. And you mentioned, and I want to let you put a plug in for you all that Oakland Theater Project with the ER in theater. has a YouTube channel. So you also should subscribe as well as to my channel, because not that many people are visiting you all. You don't have thousands yet. So there's still space for you all. And you talk about how this play is, it talks about things that are kind of taboo, sort of like violence, because you say it's an all Black play. All the characters, all the actors are Black people. And we're talking about violence that's not out there, it's here at home. So yeah, I was wondering, were there any trigger warnings, and could you talk a little bit about that, and how do you approach that, as a Black male
Yeah.
director?
I feel like this play came to me in the zeitgeist of, I remember watching one of the Disney shows and seeing Giancarlo as the bad guy and being like, oh wow, a Black man as the villain in the show. That is just something that I didn't see for a long time. And then there's a whole slew of like lesbian villain, and all these people can be diverse now because in the simple storytelling we weren't allowing them to be. And so I do think that this breaks open tropes in a way, like Swarm. I don't know if you've seen Swarm on Amazon, a Black woman serial killer. It just blew my mind a little bit to see something that is that vulgar, that obscene, just as a thing of fantasy without some sort of social context or consequence. And so I think that in that respect, I'm just really excited for it, that we can see something that we don't normally see. I think underlying message in here is violence, that there is a violence that we see on stage that we are just not used to seeing these people do. Like, this looks like any Quentin Tarantino film, and it's gory, but because it's Black women and they are enacting their own justice, it might hit us in a different way. And I think that is an interesting experience for us to have. And then the other thing I'll say is reading this off the page, it is wild rough. There's lots of traumas that are not on the page, but are in my imagination that the page draws. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's things that I see in this play that remind me of other traumas that someone might have. And in that sense, it is triggering. But I do think as we've worked and massaged and put this play up, we've all been aware of that, especially that the actors have to recreate this night after night. And so I think that through theater, we can have conversations, hard conversations, without re-traumatizing the people on stage and the people in our audience. There is a little bit of shock value in a horror play. When I say Quentin Tarantino, there's like violence that is unnecessary, right? But there shouldn't be things that are harming us night after night. And I think that we've done a good job of allowing for a lot of people into this conversation.
Wow. Yeah. The opening night was last weekend, and I think the play is up through April 23rd. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to give people that information. So it's indoors, and it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7:30 p.m. And on Saturday, this weekend, and Sunday, the 16th and the 23rd, the closing is at 2:00. That's your 2:00 Saturday matinee, but you also have a 7:30 evening performance on those Saturdays. And let's see, the pay what you can, limited number, 10 to 20. Says online ticket sales close 2 hours before the start of each performance. The box office phone number, you can get all this online, oaklandtheatreproject.org. The box office number, for those that like to hear it, is 510-646-1126, 510-646-1126. And the live stream is April 15th, 7:30. And then the video on demand is available the following day, April 16th through the 23rd. And let's see what else. The location, where is the theater located? Yeah, where is it located? Is it on Martin Luther King Jr. Way?
It is, and it's 1501. I'm so bad. I should have all of this memorized.
That's right. Yes, 1501 Martin Luther King Jr. Way, which is at 15th street, and there's a parking lot. There's a parking
Yes.
lot.
Yeah, there's a parking lot. So Flax during the day uses their parking lot, but we keep it open for people to park during performances.
And
Um,
definitely you want to do that. If you get there too late, you're gonna have to park on the street. It's
do get
free.
there a little bit early because you have to go this weird way around the block to find that parking lot. So
Right. Yes, you do. You do, because I think it's a one way or something.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
And yeah, anything else we need to tell people about how to get tickets or anything like that?
I do think that, our ticket sales are going really well, so get them now.
Mhm.
Um, we have limited runs and we have a small space.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I know you're busy because you are rehearsing for another play that you're gonna be starring in. Can we like put a plug in? Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to be working on Cyrano, directed by Josh Costello at Aurora Theater, and we start previews this Friday. And it is Josh's own adaptation. It's a five-person adaptation at the Aurora Theater.
Oh, so it's gonna be different.
Hmm.
Nice. Oh, that's gonna be hecka cool. Yeah. So you see, you have multiple hats. You're a director, you're an actor. Are you a
I
playwright too?
I am not a playwright. I am not a good playwright. Let me say that. But I am waiting to. I've been nominated for an award for my choreo in Little Shop of Horrors, so I'm excited
Where was that at?
at TheatreWorks.
Nice, nice. Little Shop of Horrors, your choreography.
Yes.
Whoa. Whoa. So you do choreography too? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I just directed and choreographed a production of Fun Home at Berkeley Playhouse. It
Ooh.
just closed this Sunday. It was
Mm.
beautiful, and yeah, so we're doing things.
Yeah. So how do we follow you?
Oakland Theater Project. That is the easiest way. I'm going to be working there all year. This is my artistic home. So we've got a couple other projects. I'll be in Virginia Wolf coming up after this.
You will.
Yeah. And actually, Adrian, who played Prospero in our Tempest last
Yes.
season and is in Cyrano with me right now, will be in that production.
Mm,
So Oakland Theater Project is the artistic home for a lot of people in my community.
that's so cool. So cool. So I want to give you an opportunity to tell us a little bit about the playwright, Aleshea Harris, and a little bit about the cast.
Yes. So Aleshea Harris this is a woman from Cal Arts, so she's kind of connected in some ways to these other people I know, these people I look up to,
Hmm.
that have told me about her. Her play to me stood out in such a way that I had to kind of read her words and hear her speak a little bit on it. And she talks about just the limitations of expression in Black art sometimes. That through this, my knowledge on it is very limited, but through a respectability politics, that there are bumpers, limitations put on her art that really shouldn't be meant for her art. And this is something that she can like break open the box a little bit, try different tropes on, and no one can tell her boo, you know? So that alone was really interesting to me because that's what I want my career to be. I want to find what those limits are and stretch myself as well as stretch the industry, as well as stretch my collaborators to find this body, the vessel that I'm in new imagined circumstances. Um, so I find that there's like a small revolution in that, very, really, really thrilling. And then I think that this is just a really well put together play. Like it feels like an epic myth. You care about all these characters. They're so nuanced. There's a really complex story. This play is about kind of several things. So there's a lot to learn from. And I think that she's created a really intimate experience for us in our little theater to see the audience across from you in this small thrust theater, because we can rearrange our space to however we want to. And we've got audience across from audience. So I think that, yeah, it's just a really thrilling experience that she's been able to curate. And when I was able to pick this play, I was really thinking about our company of people who could be in this play. And of course, we have a lot of people in our midst, so that could work a lot of different ways. But I know that Ro was someone that I wanted to be in this play from the get-go, and having the luxury of saying, these are the people I want to work with before you pick a piece means that sometimes those pieces are just tailor fit. And I think that's what happened with this cast. You know, Anthony has been on our stages before. Devin, I just worked with him in Passing Strange. We've done really intimate work together before. Ro has been working at OTP for, you know, just as long. I'm sorry, Jamela has been working there just as long as Ro has. And then Tanika has been working with us behind the scenes, but we just have like a long history of points that we should have overlapped. So it was kismet. And it's a really beautiful group of artists in front of the stage, behind the curtain as well. There's just a lot of people that are able to hold this up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm really excited about seeing it. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a play at Oakland Theater Project, formerly Ubuntu, that I didn't love and wanted to come back and see it again. Are there going to be any conversations afterward, given the material? Because I know sometimes you all used to have like this initiative where there were people who were sort of like forced, if they wanted to be, to talk to each other. So I don't know, I was wondering, do you have any talkbacks or anything scheduled?
So no, I mean, maybe if we extend, maybe if it gets so popular that we just sell out. So maybe it's up to you. But but right now there is no discussion. I think that this play is purposefully evocative. Even at the end of the play, we don't come back for bows. The play ends, and it is, you know, you're free to live your life with this experience under your wing.
That's different.
So I think that there is something that's just that you live with on this play.
Hmm.
Um,
Wow. Oh,
I hope
that's
people
so
have
intriguing.
conversations with each other about it. Uh,
Hmm.
I really, really hope that. I hope that we're talking throughout the play with each other, you know, because it's
Hmm.
really deep play. But I think that like some of these conversations I want you to go and have in your car on the way home, because they'll just be juicier than they will in the room with everyone.
Oh, wow. How fascinating. I don't think I've ever been to a play where when you all finish and go away, it's over. And somebody says, the lights come up, say, thanks for coming.
Hmm.
Oh,
I
wow.
think different people have experienced that in different ways, but yeah, I don't really know of many theater experiences, but there's something so cinematic about this experience, and it forces you to just immediately reflect instead of this performative ritual close that I really it's interesting to watch people experience that.
Like a theater within the theater, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
like
Oh,
this.
cool. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's hecka cool. Wow. Well, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to bring to our attention, William? Thank you so much. This has been so fascinating.
You were talking about earlier about this being an all-black play. I think that
Yes.
something really interesting about the script is it doesn't call attention to that. You know, it's just written
Oh,
as these people, and I think that's part of what feels freeing about it. It's not Black people in society. It's just Black people in a fairy tale together with each other. Um, but saying that it's a really raw play too. There's theatricalized violence in this play, and I think that that conversation is one that I'm really interested in having with my community. So I hope that this all Black play gets a lot of all Black audience. I think that that completes the circle of this conversation in a really cool way. Obviously, please, everyone come and see it. But yeah, I would love for my actors to have the community's response to it.
mm-hmm. And so does the playwright, because I know sometimes there's directions around who the playwright wants the characters to be performed by. And I was wondering, does this playwright, Aleshea Harris, does she want that or does she leave it up to the presenter?
Yes, this is specifically written as an all Black play,
Okay.
but they just don't mention Blackness at all. And I
Hmm.
feel like sometimes it's doing being Black in theater can be like a raisin in the milk, and you just have to circle and draw attention to the Blackness. And this play doesn't really, in a refreshing way. Um, And I want, I want our audiences to see that. I mean, I think that there's a lot of Black theater goers that are listening to us right now, and I think that we all know the experience of going to a space that is by us, and a space where I'm like, okay, it's me and everyone's watching me. And so this is just my call to the community. Come out and bring your friends.
Okay, cool. You all hear that, community? You're being invited.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
lovely. Gosh. Well, thank you so much. And wow, good luck on the nomination. And I hope you get the award for your choreography in Little Shop of Horrors. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have to give a shout out to my Passing Strange crew,
Okay,
up
cool.
for best show at Shotgun last year.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great play. Yeah. And then Cyrano, one of my favorite plays, and you are Cyrano. Oh my God, it's gonna be so cool.
Come shake my hand afterwards.
Right. Such poetry,
Of
right?
course.
All right. You take good care. Thank you so much. I really appreciate speaking with you today. It's been lovely.
Thank you, Wanda. Thank
All
you
right.
for having me.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.